Well, tonight, those cute little blue creatures you loved as a kid are taking over challenge. But our cake decorators better not get too comfortable, because a big surprise is coming their way.
Oh my God, no.
Someone's taking home $10,000, and everyone's got Smurf on the brain. It's challenge, and it's on.
You feel like you're on the Titanic?
Competitors, may I have your attention, please? They're gonna mess with our brains. I'm taking you down.
This is challenge. This is war.
Fight me at first! Welcome to Food Network Challenge, the Smurfs Movie Cakes. I'm Claire Robinson. Tonight, we're making big old cakes inspired by the tiny stars of the new movie, The Smurfs. In the movie, Papa Smurf, Smurfette, and the rest of the gang have been magically transported to New York City.
Oh my.
And now our competitors will have 8 hours to make a cake depicting their adventures as they try and find their way home. So let's see who's Smurf enough to take on this challenge. From Seattle, Washington, Casey Lackey.
I love Smurfs. I am totally a child of the 80s. My older sister was Brainy Smurf, and my younger sister was Smurfette, and I was Clumsy Smurf because, you know, you couldn't take me anywhere. I'd fall on my head. I always felt like kind of the misfit. I'm very much the out there artistic type. I want to win because I want that red jacket. The red jacket is the ultimate status symbol amongst challenge champions. It means you've won 3, I've won 2. That red jacket, I think, will just kind of make me feel like, yes, I fit into this world. I'm gonna wow the judges by, doing a really cool architectural structure and just a really unique design.
From New York City, Benny Rivera.
I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I own a small cake business in New York City. We went through a very rough year through the economy. So we thought that we were going to close the business, but I didn't give up my dream. So winning the competition would be important because I want to take the business to the next level. I consider myself a very, very detail-oriented person and perfectionist. So every single piece that I create has to be perfect.
From Toronto, Canada, Jamie Hope.
I love Smurfs. I grew up watching the cartoon. It was great. I was on challenge once before, and it did not go well. We came in last. I want to win this time because I need redemption. Right now, I'm a full-time accountant. I do cakes full-time on the side as well. I need to win. My long-term goal is to open my own cake shop, and I need that confidence boost in order to do so. My strategy is to keep it simple and keep it achievable.
And from Alexandria, Louisiana, Jennifer Atwood.
I'm general manager of Atwood's Bakery in Alexandria, Louisiana. My grandmother and my father started the bakery about 6 months after I was born, so I've been, around it all my life. I want to win this competition because I do want to step out of the shadow of my dad and of my grandmother. I want to make a splash on my own.
So before we get this show on the road, I do have something to tell you. Y'all know what happens in the Smurf movie, right?
Everything's going to be just fine.
1 minute they're home, the next minute they're somewhere totally different. I'm just saying I wouldn't get too cozy in those kitchens if I were you.
Smurf.
Oh, I think they're totally gonna Smurf with us.
You'll just have to wait and find out what's coming your way.
No.
Let's put 8 hours on the clock. Are y'all ready? Smurf on! Your time starts now.
Great. Let's get Smurf with it.
What are they going to do with us? Okay, so here's the deal. Each competitor has to make a cake inspired by a scene in the movie, featuring at least 2 Smurfs. They'll be judged on representation of theme, technical merit, and artistic value. But the real test is coming in a couple of hours. They just don't know it yet.
Right now I'm starting
on carving out Brainy Smurf. The scene that I have is the Smurfs climbing up the fire escape looking for Clumsy.
How are we supposed to find Clumsy in there?
You'll see the fire escape and 2 pieces of a brick wall behind it because I didn't want to do a solid brick wall because that's boring. You'll have Brainy Smurf at the bottom stair, and Smurfette is jumping up to catch Gutsy's hand, who's Gutsy being the chivalrous, brave Smurf is helping her up. So my strategy today is just to have amazing Smurfs.
I'm a little scared about the twist. The scene that I'm going to try to recreate is going to be when the Smurfs are trying to run to catch the train, right when the subway doors are closing and they all get stuck.
Why?
Not happy.
There will be 3 Smurfs on my cake. Groshi, Smurfette, and Brainy. I have to make sure that every single piece that I create has to be perfect.
Yes.
So our scene is the hardest scene of the 4 of them. My scene is Gutsy Smurf and Papa Smurf hanging onto the top of a cab as it speeds through the streets of New York. A Smurf is 7.5 inches and the car is 18 feet long. There's no way we can get proportionate to this thing. To solve the issue with proportions, we had to take a very, very liberal interpretation of the scene. The text is a little bit smaller and more cartoony, and then we have it on a giant road with some city scenes on it. And that way, we feel we can portray the scene without actually having to build a real life car. If all goes well, we're gonna have a couple of the wheels move. I do not want to come in last.
We're not coming in last.
Slide.
We have a large cake plan. Our cake board is going to be 72 inches by 41 inches.
I mean, I know we decided to do an ambitious design.
The Smurf movie is about Clumsy being clumsy and getting them into a whole lot of trouble. They get sucked into a vortex and thrown into, our world. My design is going to be Brainy and Clumsy being spat out of the vortex. The waterfall itself will be made of isomalt, and then it'll have real running water flowing over it. To one side, you're going to see Central Park. On the other side, you're going to see where they came from, which is the Smurf Village. This is one of the most complicated cakes I've ever made. The water element just kind of blows the complication level out of the water.
So let's meet the judges for this challenge. Pastry chef and owner of D-Bar Desserts in Denver, Colorado, Keegan Gerhardt. Producer of the Smurfs movie, Jordan Kerner. And of course, wedding cake designer and Hall of Fame sugar artist from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Carrie Vincent. So Jordan, could you tell me a little bit about the movie?
Well, this is the first time that the Smurfs will be made into a live-action movie. It started as a series of books in the 1950s.
So tell me, what are you looking for?
What we're looking for are live-action Smurfs. The reality of New York, and then ultimately the storytelling that's going on with, what situation do we find these Smurfs in? They're strangers in a strange land.
You may want to take a look at this.
What is it? Let's talk about kitchen 4, Jennifer. Let's talk about that big giant thing over there.
I don't think this is the challenge to try to impress us with a million different techniques. This is the challenge to nail Smurfs.
Just please don't burn yourself.
My assistant is my boyfriend, Tobias.
Oh.
Tobias has the job of melting the isomalt and getting it up onto the waterfall board, and it's just not melting right.
Did you burn yourself? I'm gonna. Did you burn yourself?
Okay, just don't worry about me going. It's a natural reaction to pain. I'll get over it.
Well, Tobias probably burned his hand 7 or 8 times.
What did I tell you about doing that?
Doing what?
Competitors, may I have your attention, please? Please stop your work because I'm stopping the clock.
Something really bad's about to happen.
In the movie, the Smurfs are magically transported from their home to Central Park, and they desperately try to find their way back, right? Well, that's about to happen to you. Everyone step out of your kitchens. We're going to the park.
What the hell are we gonna do in the park?
Oh my god. No.
They're gonna mess with our brains.
Brought to you by Citra.
This could completely screw my day up.
In the movie, the key to the Smurfs getting home is for them to find what they call a stargazer. We call it a telescope. Somewhere in this park, there's a stargazer. The same color of each of your jackets. Each of you have to find your stargazer that matches your chef jacket. Once you find your stargazer, run back to your van, and you can head right back to your kitchen. The clock will start as soon as the first person gets back to the kitchen.
Oh my God.
Oh, sweet. Lemony.
And just in case you might stumble upon someone else's stargazer during your search, well, guess it's up to you what you do with it at that point.
I start strategizing. If it's every man for himself, somebody could take my stargazer.
Smurf, exactly.
If we're all working together, everybody gets a stargazer. So, guys, you want to work together or work separately?
Let's work together.
That's what Smurfs would do. I mean, they wouldn't leave a Smurf behind.
Go!
What is that?
Just scan for red things.
I don't think it'll be in the water.
Wait, I found one!
Is it really?
Oh, there's one in the statue. It's purple.
All right. Okay.
So I have Casey's stargazer, and if I can hold on to it so she can't get back to the kitchen first, that is leverage.
Oh, I see it. I see it right back.
Yeah, go.
Get it, Casey, get it.
Go, baby, go!
Woohoo! Oh, they found one over there. Green, damn. Okay.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be here.
If it was purple, I totally would have run back and gone back to the studio. As much as I want to believe that if I'd found my stargazer first, I totally would have stayed with everybody else. I don't know.
Oh, under the bridge.
Yes.
Blue.
What color did you get?
Is that ours?
Yeah.
What do you got?
What do you got?
We have Benny's. Green for purple? What difference does that make?
Well, I don't know. Just thought it might be good to trade.
I don't trust Casey. I have hers. There's no way I'm letting go of that purple stargazer.
I don't think it'd be like in a tree.
As it's tied to a friggin' goose.
Yes. Good. Let's see. Come on, green. Orange.
Okay.
We've got yours! Jamie's got ours! That's it, we just gotta get everybody back.
Oh, they're saying let's go. All of them have been found.
Let's go. That's Casey. So maybe if we drive a little bit faster, we can make it to the studio. Go. And I'm like, no! We're doing a friendly wave, and all of a sudden, Casey flips us the bird. Whatever. Ha ha ha! You don't have to be mean about it. I was mad. That is not very Smurfy. Game on. Casey, you're going down.
This is challenge. This is war.
I made it first!
You got back first.
So back to work, Heather.
Let's go.
Psst.
What?
I can tell you that didn't fall on something.
We come back from the twist, and some of our cake has fallen over.
There was nothing structurally wrong with it.
We really don't have time for this because we have such a massive cake and we're already so far behind.
Jennifer, you're so quiet. Are you having a rough time?
Maybe if you stopped giving lip, then you'd actually win this one.
I've been here before. I ride the rodeo quite often.
Casey just starts bugging me.
Jamie, I am sorry I flipped you the bird. That's just an instinct. I have road rage.
Shut up and get back to work.
I'm gonna be first here at the end of the 8 hours. I've got a lot on the line. Like, I want that red jacket. I want it. Then I have to pry that red jacket from my cold, dead fingers.
And I'm just thinking, I don't want you to get that red jacket. I'm taking you down. I'm gonna win this thing.
I don't see where she's going to be able to finish this.
I don't like the sound of that. It sounds like sugar cracking. It's probably going to finish shattering. That would be devastating.
Theatrical release of the new movie from Sony Pictures Animation, The Smurfs.
Just gotta refocus. I'm trying to get back into the groove of the competition. This is Smurfette, and I'm putting on the bottom part of her dress right now. It's hard to get back in the groove of the challenge. I can't get my focus back. I can't get my speed back. I feel like I'm working underwater. It's just like...
That's a lot of bricks.
My assistant for this challenge is Heather Fryer, and Heather's having the same problem. Like, Heather is moving like molasses. Part of my strategy was to make amazing Smurfs. And also having this really cool architectural piece. If we can't get back on the ball, the strategy's blown. We just gotta pick it up. We gotta, 45 minutes, we gotta be done with both walls.
My biggest problem with Casey's piece is this very abstract hint at a New York fire escape. Am I really gonna say that's the New York City fire escape? I don't know.
There's Papa.
So I've given Sally the task of doing the Smurfs.
I have the best Smurf.
She's really good at modeling. That's her specialty.
I see Jamie's kitchen, and while her Smurfs are well done, they're tiny, tiny Smurfs. We have Smurfs, big Smurfs, 3 Smurfs.
Like, come on. My Smurfs are the best.
I do have the best Smurfs. Yeah.
They're awesome.
I absolutely agree. The beard detail and the hair details are fantastic.
Whether or not we love it as much when you put it on top of a very cartoony scene, we'll see. 'Cause it's not gonna be very New York to me.
They're making a wonderful job of that old car,
Well, they are.
but it's not the right car. Just give me a regular New York cab, and they would have been sailing away.
Hey Eva.
Huh?
How far are you going?
Trying to finish up on her face so I can work on her body.
My assistant is Ivana Pichardo. She's an assistant at my bakery. The original design has 3 Smurfs. Eva is currently working with 2. My plan is to help her as soon as I'm done with the subway. My design also have 2 doors. Those 2 doors are going to hold the Smurf. They're going to be stuck in the middle. I'm pouring the sugar into the windows. I let them dry. But when I'm trying to pick up one of them, it cracks. So you know what? I'm going to leave it like that because sometimes the windows and subways are broken.
Starting to get a little, I guess, antsy. I don't like the sound of that. It sounds like sugar cracking.
That is sugar cracking.
The bias is making the rock that the Smurfs are going to sit on in the stream as I'm making Brainy. And he can hear just from the weight of the rock, the ice malt underneath cracking.
You know how it makes these odd noises on occasion.
If we put Brainy and Clumsy onto the rock, it's going to probably just go ahead and finish shattering. If that happens and it comes crashing down, that would just be devastating.
You think we should move one of the Smurfs off the rock and onto land?
So even though my vision is for both of them to be laying on the rock because they've been spat out of the vortex, some of the design is going to have to change. The way we have Clumsy, he's kind of got his leg up a little bit, so it might actually look like he's climbing the other rock. I've got a lot to prove, and no bump in the road is going to stop me.
It was a very ambitious project in terms of the 2 worlds she was creating. I don't see where she's going to be able to finish this.
I mean, I still think we can pull it off in a minute.
And now it's time to airbrush.
All right, why aren't you working?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Seriously?
I can feel the red jacket being torn away from me.
Welcome back to Food Network Challenge, the Smurfs movie cakes. Today, we're making cakes to celebrate the all-new movie, The Smurfs.
Oh, yeah, that cools the chocolates.
There's 2 hours left, and here's what I'm seeing in the kitchens. We threw a twist earlier in the day. It really threw some of our competitors off their game. Casey in Kitchen 1 lost momentum and focus, and she's had problems getting back into her groove ever since. But she's got 3 good-looking Smurfs.
She's so smurfy.
Did that look for buddy? She wants to win this because if she does, she gets that red jacket.
I really want that freaking red jacket. I need it.
That basically means if she wins a 3rd time, she then becomes one of our challenge champions. Her strategy is to do a very abstract fire escape. But the judges, they say that they can't tell if that's New York City.
We gotta get the stairs up. There's a lot of metal in our piece. I'm either gonna wow the judges with the structure I've come up with, or I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot by having too much of a structural cake.
Did you just see that armature that Casey pulled out? It is solid metal. I think it loses the essence of what a cake exhibition piece is all about.
Vinny in Kitchen 2 is living the American dream by running his own cake shop in New York City. And he really wants to win so he can impress people with his flawless techniques. But his assistant isn't even done with the Smurfs that she's been working on all competition. Vinny had planned to help with the Smurfs, but he hasn't been able to because he's been spending so much time on the subway itself.
My work is very neat and clean.
That structure, the train itself, is really good. But for Vinny to win this seriously, there has to be some remarkable finish work on the Smurfs.
Jamie in Kitchen 3 is back for redemption after a poor showing in her last challenge.
I'm just praying to the cake gods.
Jamie's design is very cartoony but not realistic. It may hurt her because the judges want to see the Smurfs in the real world, like in the movie.
You feel like you're on the Titanic?
No.
Jennifer in Kitchen 4 has been behind since the word go. She grew up in the bakery business and is here to prove to her dad and her grandmother that she has what it takes to run the family bakery. She's doing a very ambitious cake that has a real waterfall. But they've waited until the last half of the competition to start their Smurfs.
We just need to get clumsy done.
Smurfs, you may want to take a look at this.
What is it?
So after struggling for quite a while with Brainy, I decided we need to move on. We don't have clumsy done. And that's starting to make me really nervous.
I'm gonna have you do the other Smurf.
Tobias is gonna have to make clumsy.
You think I'll be able to get that other Smurf done?
I know you will.
It almost seems impossible that we're going to finish and have a finished cake at the end, but I don't want to let Jennifer down.
If you can make sure you get him done, then I can try to get the rest of the board done.
I can pipe buttercream faster than pretty much anybody.
I think we're both better under pressure than anything else.
I just grab a bag and we go ahead and add the tree.
Tobias, I'm checking the moss. We have scissors that I can use for the moss?
I have this great technique that I do that makes sugar moss look like real moss. I make the moss by taking ice malt crystals and mixing in food coloring. Then I just put it on top of melted ice malt and put it in the oven just for a minute and just lay it on top of the rocks. It's one of the things I want to show off. It's part of my strategy.
The moss is great. She did really great moss.
The woman has cake skills. You can see it evidenced in different techniques that she's used throughout the piece. But why would you wait so late to start Smurfs? Why in the world?
The vision that I have is basically to have these 2 clear windows that are going to be part of the doors that close in the train. But then when I'm covering the doors with fondant, my intention is to cut the area where the window is and pull out that piece of fondant. Oh no. and I'm trying to pick this part out of the window, and I noticed that it's stuck. Look at what happened. So nothing seems to be perfect. It's making me crazy. I'm gonna redo the window again, take the risk, because it's just like completely destroyed. At this point, I realized I'm really behind with the train. We have to drop one of the Smurfs because we're not gonna be able to make it. So many things went wrong, but we're not giving up. I went to Eva and I told her, you know what, Eva, concentrate in those two and let's forget about Brainy.
I mean, I wish I would have been able to do the third one, but I didn't have enough time, so.
Well, it's hard to believe that Benny has decided to drop Brainy, who's one of the key characters, and he's got a perfect wall, but he's missing one of his Smurfs.
Are we sure about this? And Brainy, who's the most paranoid of all of them, who would be the most nervous going through that door, from a comic standpoint, is a real loss.
You ready? Ready? Let's put the car up.
So the taxi's done and it looks great, but we still have to get that up onto the cake, and our cake is tall.
Careful. Got it? Yeah. Get ready?
It must be 30, 40, 50 pounds of cake plus fondant.
Can you see it?
A little bit more too, you're right. Yeah. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Is it sitting on it right?
Yeah. I think our car is looking really cute at this point.
I see Jamie's kitchen. The cab doesn't look like a New York cab. It's on this giant hill.
Casey's cake is simple. Our scene is a lot harder to do. We have a car, we have the city. We don't just have, here's the scene straight from the movie.
Yeah!
Right on! I'm out for redemption. I need to win this.
I gotta say, the more that Jamie works on that piece, the less I like it. It's supposed to be Times Square, and it looks like a ski ramp.
Feels like Toontown to me. That defeats the purpose of the photoreal nature of Keegan and what we were trying to accomplish with the film.
I'm turning into a Smurf! Yes! Smurfs are looking good. And now it's time to color correct them. We have to airbrush.
Alright, why aren't you working?
I go to use my airbrush and the compressor has a leak in it. No big deal. I know how to fix it, and I, fix the leak, and then the gun's not working.
Of course my airbrush doesn't want to work.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Seriously?
Without the airbrush, they won't come to life. They'll look flat. They won't be right.
It doesn't work.
I can feel the fabric of the red jacket being torn away from me.
I don't have a freaking airbrush gun because we're all screwed up.
Go blue team!
In boiling hot water.
The most highly recommended bed in America.
Competitors, there's only 1 hour remaining.
Just work as fast as you can, that's all I can.
I'm trying.
I'm panicking at this point. But I think I can fix it. I submerged my airbrush in boiling hot water, and it clears whatever was plugging the needle. Victory is mine!
Airbrush is so important because it really brings these guys to life.
Damn it.
What?
Well, its head fell over.
Gutsy's head falls off.
Can we use chocolate?
Just stick it on. This is the last thing we want to have happen now.
When we put it on the cake, I'm just gonna put a bigger skewer in and I'll stick it in the cake.
Okay. I want redemption. I need validation that I have what it takes to open my own shop. Please, Gutsy, let your head stay on.
This thing's head falls off, I will cry.
You cry, I'm gonna cry. We'll all cry. Phew. He's got a head. But it's gotta stay for the move.
I was supposed to cover the doors with fondant, but I'm not gonna have time. My other option was just to paint the plywood straight with luster dust. I'm not gonna take the risk. I know the judge is probably not gonna like this.
He just painted a wooden door in silver. He didn't even cover them in fondant.
You know what I think about that. We have